father figure passed for you or him?
Yeah, my father just passed.
Okay, so he's there with Dad, and he said, he's making the joke, I shocked him when I showed up for him. And was your dad sick before he passed? Because I'm getting like he's holding on, and Justin says, I'm there going, come on, Pops, come on, you're gonna be okay, I got you. And I feel like that was that connection. And is there something with camping or outdoors with Dad, with Grandpa?
No, not with Grandpa.
The outdoor connection, because I'm getting the sleeping bags, I'm getting the outdoors connection.
We camp all the time.
You and me, chasing down forever after.
Hello, and welcome to Grieving to Believing. I'm Deb Sheppard. There is no greater loss than that of a child, no matter the age or the circumstances. My mission is to bring parents peace and to know without a doubt their children are still giving them messages from the other side. Today, I'm going to be speaking to a parent that I've not met, but please join me as we jump in and make a connection to the other side. Hi, welcome. I'm Deb Sheppard. Who are you?
Hi, my name is Lori Ahern.
Hi, Lori. Thank you so much for joining us. And my heart always goes out to any parent that's willing to be brave enough and have the courage to share their experiences and losses with our audience. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for doing this. I am super excited.
Good. Well, so am I, and so is the other side. So they're all kind of chatting. When I first tuned into you, Lori, I feel like you've been through a lot in your life, and I feel like there's been a lot of losses. And then having this on top of it is not what we call the cherry on top of the dessert. I really feel like there's been a lot of tragic things in your life, and then we add that to the loss of a child. And I also feel like you just keep putting one foot in front of the other. You keep wondering, why am I going through this? What is the purpose and intention? And I really feel like you've been looking at different things in your life, especially probably the last few years, dealing with this loss and trying to figure things out. I keep getting like, okay, what is the whole message behind all this? I also feel like, was your childhood also a little bit challenging, or just some things in your life that were not always easy? Because I feel like you're just this pioneer that you just keep going.
My childhood was probably fine, but I was a single mother, pretty young.
Okay. So maybe in the child's life too. The first thing I'm getting, did you lose a son?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So he's been very strong. So just, he's over here going, okay, let's get us all together, and basically kind of directing me about what I need to do. So with this too, what's your son's first name? I don't want to call him son.
Justin.
Justin. Okay. He says he's a young soul, too young to pass, obviously, but also there's this innocence to Justin and also this rebel to him. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
The sense too of there's a calmness to him. A lot of times I get kids coming through just being this chatterbox, but Justin is this person that thinks before he speaks. I really feel like he's got this calmness in front of him. He prepares. He doesn't want to say anything that would be difficult or challenging. He's also taught to really think of others. So there's that kindness to him, a person that would say, hey, you on the street corner, what do you need? I just don't feel like Justin was that person that judged others or was unkind to people. So this is a person that just felt, wow, I just lucky to be here. And he also feels that he says, you are the perfect mom. So don't even go there. He says, you did everything that you could to be the mom that, he says, you made all the other moms jealous, just so you know. Lori, just so you know, your son likes to mess with technology. Does he do this with you?
All the time.
Okay, so for those that are watching, Justin is behind the scenes messing with my technology. So having to do this is definitely the vibration or energy that Justin likes to show. So if he's been doing that to you, he's not stopping. And I just got the big chills of, he's that kind of energy, and he's not one to mess things up, but he's definitely that soul to say, hi, I'm here. Don't forget about me. Okay. Justin also feels a little bit like a warrior, and not in a negative way. He just feels like not a chip on his shoulder, but he carried the weight of the world on his shoulder. I feel very much like you, that if he could take the burden off others, this is something he would do. He would be the protector. He would be the one standing in front of the line to be the voice or protector, and not the screaming and yelling soul, just the person that would stand there in his power and say, no, this is not right. And that's, to me, a amazing young man. Justin said he was still very young. He still had so much life in front of him, that way too early. He's also saying, was this newsworthy, or was there something about the news, or something like, I don't feel like your loss was just a single event, or that it was just about a private event. To me, there was much more vocalization or media coverage regarding his death. And he's also got a dry, sarcastic sense of humor. So and this makes, what's that, Lori?
All of that's correct.
Okay. So this calmness that I get from him is like this kid that could be the therapist, the counselor, the coach, to be that person, to be there. But at the same time is, don't push him too far, because he will raise his voice if he needs to bring out Court of the Claws. He goes, like my mom, when she needed to be the protective bear, she could be calm, but she could bring out that protective bear energy. The way he's saying this, and I'm a little bit cautious the way I want to say this, but he goes, I'm the one that went out with a bang. And to me, this probably means a couple different things. It's not just because he said it was media worthy and all the things that kind of occurred. I just kind of feel that this was his way of having humor around his passing, but also saying, I'm okay, Mom. This is kind of a joke. This is where I'm coming from. And he says that you really started thinking after his passing what you believe. Like, what do I believe after this? It's sort of it was like the onion that opened up all those layers. And he said also he feels as if you have been in a battlefield, either trying to defend him or trying to keep his memory alive, or the things that people said that have been hurtful, and that you just keep turning the other cheek or looking the other way and looking for signs from him. What's the feather connection? Are you seeing the feathers?
I have seen feathers around, just random feathers around where we live. Yeah.
Okay, that would be him saying hello. Okay. Was there a small dog that's passed for you guys? Or for him?
Not very small, and it's been a couple years, but it was his dog.
No. Did you have a small dog when you were younger?
I did.
Okay.
Did.
This is a small dog that he's bringing through, that's yours.
Okay.
And I feel like part of this is to let you know, without a doubt, it's him, that, he didn't know this small dog. And he says, the dog is a little bit obnoxious, Mom. So I was assuming a little bit spoiled too. He's also bringing through, you have other people here. Have you, and I'm just taking notes so I don't forget. Is there a father figure passed for you or him?
Yeah, my father just passed.
Okay, so he's there with Dad. And he said, he's making the joke, I shocked him when I showed up for him. And was your dad sick before he passed? Because I'm getting like he's holding on. And Justin says, I'm there going, come on, Pops. Come on, you're going to be okay. I got you. And I feel like that was that connection. And is there something with camping or outdoors with Dad, with Grandpa?
No, not with Grandpa.
The outdoor connection, because I'm getting the sleeping bags, I'm getting the outdoors connection.
We camp all the time.
Okay, so if you camp all the time, that's what he's bringing up. Oh yes, he's bringing up. He says, and you still camp after his passing. Is this correct?
He actually started because of him. Yes. Okay,
so this is why he's bringing the camping connection in. And he says he still has control of the fire. So this may have a meaning that he liked to build the fire, or this was something you guys did as a family, or the s'mores, or whatever that was about this fire. But he says, I'm still there. I'm still a flame to be reckoned with. Did other people die at the same time, or was there?
No, not at the same time. I mean, my son was sick. And so there were lots of people lots of people he knew, not lots. There were several kids that passed before him and then
Okay.
some came after him.
Okay, so there's a lot of, so he was ill before he passed.
Yes.
Okay, let me go back because I'm not getting him talking about being sick. So let me just see what else. Okay. He says, I did not want my illness to be my identity. And that my superpowers were like, I tried really hard to be here on so many different levels. And I'm also getting something very rare for him. So he's telling me about other people dying, I'm assuming that he was definitely connected to a hospital, floor or children's hospital or other people that were there. And I feel like for some reason, I feel like he was very entertaining to the rest of them. So when I'm seeing other people around him, he made others feel it's going to be okay.
My son Justin was 10 when he passed away. He had been battling neuroblastoma cancer since he was 3, so almost 8 years. He passed away what I would consider suddenly. I mean, he was in ICU for 2 weeks and passed away. And so it was definitely a shock. We knew when he was diagnosed that it was unlikely he was going to make it to live a full life, but we took advantage of the life he did have, and he lived it to the best.
Okay, he's giving me 2 numbers, 7 and 13. Do any of those make any meaning to you? So if there's a July connection, obviously there's not a 13.
My birthday's in July.
Okay, so he may be doing this as validation. It also could be the time of when he was diagnosed or how long he was sick or those type of things, or there was a turning point. He also believes that he's using the word, this is not me, when it was his time, he really came to peace with it. Like he really said, I'm kind of done fighting, Mom. I'm really done with this. And whether this was a rare disease or something that was really unusual, he just feels like, of course, I'm going to come into this world with something that's going to be special and unique. I'm not going to go here with something everybody else has. What I love about Justin too is he was a voice or a person that helped others even when he was being challenged. So like I said, he'd be on the corner going, what's your situation? What's your circumstances? So for all the other kids and the parents or whoever was there, he got them to laugh. He got them to say, it's okay to have laughter during this time. So the sense of you being prepared, you're never going to be prepared. There's always going to be hope. There's always going to be an idea of, you know what, maybe there's a cure. Maybe he can fight this. Maybe there's going to be a change. He's also showing me that there was, I'm assuming, some surgeries that were been not typical or risk-taking or, let's try that. We've never done this, so let's try this. So he was also willing to be that, he says, guinea pig, to be able to say, I got this. Let's move it forward. Let's take this on. Was he born with this?
No, but he was really young. He was 3 when he got sick.
Okay, because he keeps saying that there is something around either when he got diagnosed or something around his young time that had some challenges. That's what I keep getting. And I don't want to back off when he's telling me. So it may make sense later. And it's not a negative. It's more of like affirming.
Okay. And when he got sick, there were absolutely challenges, lots and lots and lots of challenges.
Okay. Were there challenges in relationships and your career and money and all that kind of stuff? Okay. So this was like early on, maybe when he got diagnosed, it's like, remember I got the explosion. I keep getting this, like our world is never going to be the same. And he's doing this with his hair. He's like, I'm really handsome with my hair as well. And he's also telling me that in his service, in his celebration of life, the ending of his life, that it was really a party. And he said that he knows that he's always celebrated. When I see balloons, it either means that you release balloons or there's connection of, looking up or having that connection to the other side. He says he knows that it is like people have things to say. For his young life and his young journey here, he really inspired people and touched people. And that doesn't happen to someone that lives to 80 or 90. This is a young person that did this in a very short time he lived here. And he knows that he came and he touched lives. He's also talking about his handprint on something, that you have his handprint.
I do.
Okay, and that you put your hand there or you acknowledge this, and that this handprint is also that memory or the thing of like almost like that touching the veil, touching the other side, that you feel that you have that connection with him. And he says the bigger dog that's passed, was it a dark colored dog?
It was black, yeah.
Black, because he says like this, it feels like a lab or a black dog. And he just says, yes, it was time for him to be with me. And I know that you grieved a second time because that was your connection with him. And he says, do you have the dog's paw print too?
We do.
Because he says you may want to put them side by side because it's the two hands connecting. And that it's that rainbow bridge that we talked about on the other side, that's the connection for both of them. How are you doing, Miss Lori?
My God, you're so on to everything. It's awesome. I love to hear from him. I love this. So thank you. It brings so much hope and knowing that he's doing okay.
We just want him here, right? Who has the tattoo on the back of their shoulder?
I do.
Okay, so he's acknowledging that you have him with you next to your heart.
My best friend drew a tattoo and we used angel wings, and we put the childhood cancer ribbon in the middle, and I took something that he wrote his name on, and his name is back there.
Okay, so he knows about this. He says, this would be Justin for sure. He goes, you got to show it off, Mom. You got to show it off. Is he also, is there a picture or something of his in the hospital where he passed?
There very well could be, yes.
Okay.
I can't imagine that there wouldn't be, but.
So I keep getting an area in a children's hospital that has either a playroom or a bench or something that money can be raised to have Justin there, because I feel like he's still that kid trying to embrace other families.
Sure. And he was part of 2 national childhood cancer organizations and ambassadors for both of them. So his face could be anywhere.
That's the media worthy, except it's like really a little bit like, okay, what's the media worthy?
Yeah.
And the face with him too is this, and I've seen this before, but this cherub face at 3. Mm-hmm. Where I feel like he is already talking, he's got this whole kind of energy, and then goes from this to his journey in his life. The fascinating thing about Justin is he doesn't identify with cancer.
Right. He never did. He was always better than that.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's just what I have. But you know what? We all have brown eyes, blue eyes, green eyes. We all have something.
Great.
And is there a hallway with photos of him?
Yes.
He says that sometimes you stop there and look at him.
I do.
He sees you in that hallway. And is there a light positioned in an odd place in that hallway?
Kind of, yeah.
Like you would think if someone was thinking, like, wouldn't you put it here versus over here?
Yeah.
I have a pantry. When you open up the lights on the other side of the pantry door, and I'm like, what a poor place. And I feel like that's what he's talking about. And he's making a joke that the picture should be lit a lot brighter for him. And this is a way of having a joke, like, okay, let's put some better lighting around there. And he says, sometimes does the picture get tilted a little bit? Like
right now.
The picture is? Okay, that's him moving the photo. So you pay attention and stop and realign it. He goes, but the lighting needs to be better.
Okay, got it. I'll brighten up that light. Got it.
And I think it's his way of just saying that he's around you, hon. I really appreciate you being so brave and sharing your journey and allowing us to meet Justin today. Thank you so much.
So much. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh, Justin was so outgoing, and Deb was right on. Justin cared more about other people. His intent in life was to make sure that kids didn't have to go through the same cancer treatments that he did. He was part of two national research childhood cancer organizations. He was hope for a lot of people for a long time. During the reading, when Deb said his handprint that I touch his handprint all the time. It's when he was in the ICU, one of our favorite nurses, Aubrey, came in and did a plaster of Paris, I don't know what it's called, of his handprint. And so she made one for myself, his dad, and my daughters. And every time I touch it, it makes me feel like I'm holding his hand. So that was amazing. Also, when Deb said the media awareness around his death, he was good friends with Denise Plant in Denver. And as soon as he passed, he had a little segment on her show. In addition, Stand Up to Cancer and St. Baldrick's were both the childhood cancer associations he was ambassadors for. They both did shout outs or notifications that he had passed away. And then when Deb mentioned his service, and it was a big party, it was true. There was probably over 1,000 people that showed up for his service, and it was a party. We danced because that's what he did. When things were tough, he would dance, and so we danced at his service. From this experience, I'm walking away just with more hope, with knowing that he's okay, knowing that when the lights come off and on, that it's him. I knew it was him, but knowing that it was him, knowing that he's close and that he's aware and that he's watching out for us and that he's taking care of us. I'm going to pay more attention to the feathers I find on the ground now. I see them occasionally, and now that I know it's him, I'm going to pay attention to those more too. Something like this just gives you that warmth that your son's doing. My son is doing okay, and I'm proud of him. I'm super proud of him.
That was incredible. Thank you, Lori, so much for allowing me to connect with Justin. What an amazing soul, an ambassador, that he did not allow cancer to define him, and that he is continuing to help others from the other side. If you or a loved one has lost a child, please recommend Grieving to Believing and have them subscribe so they too can find some healing and hope. Remember that even though your loved ones are on the other side, they are still by your side. Thank you for joining me. I'm Deb Sheppard.